Hey y'all, Jamie here, proud 55-year-old trans woman from New Orleans. So, where last I left off? Well, I was dancing on stage on Bourbon Street at a club called the French Casino, and my thong, I did not know this, but my thong had ridden over to the side of my business. And yes, for those of y'all tuning in for the first time, yeah, I'm trans, duh. I just said that in the opening, hello. And the thong moved over to the side of all my business. And so my boss saw it and screamed at me, "You son of a bitch, if you can't hide your dick, get the fuck off my stage." I ran into the dressing room. I was beside myself running into the dressing room, y'all. And so I fixed things and I apologized profusely to my boss, obviously. And it was a lesson learned. Honestly, it became kind of a lesson learned, and so as far as my friends Terry and Angel, y'all, I have not talked about them in the last couple of days. Me and Terry had that big fight before I went to jail, and we fell out, and I was not speaking to them. And the real truth is, I found out Terry was the one who turned me into the police because I gave her boyfriend a blowjob. Did I deserve it? Yeah, kind of. It's 90 degrees here today. I apologize if I do that a little bit. Yeah, I deserved it. I made her man cheat on her with me. I didn't make him, of course. He's a man. Let's be real. But yeah, I deserved it. And I forgave her. Listen, Terry is the only human being on this earth in my lifetime that felt like my soulmate. And I do not mean in a sexual way, so please, y'all, don't get it twisted. But yeah, in a platonic way, a highly platonic way, she was my soulmate on this earth. And I loved Angel, and I loved Tracy, and I loved all my friends. Believe me, I loved all my friends. Terry and I had a special bond. And so I forgave her. And, we moved on. She was still working at Fun Limited, though. She didn't want to come over to the French Casino. And I wanted to stay at the French Casino. I kind of liked it, to be honest with you. And so, we made up, but we decided not to still work in the same place and to go on with our lives. I was kind of staying where I was staying. She was kind of staying where she was staying. And when we saw each other at the roundup after work, of course, it was, I love you, all of that. We were good. And me and Angel were good. Listen, Angel, she just didn't want me and Terry fighting. So me and her were good and square. Now, y'all, about this time, another girl, a doll from Houston that I had known in Houston, named Bianca, showed up in New Orleans. And Bianca, I never talked about her before, but when Bianca was in Houston and I was a teenager, my first boyfriend, Damon, saw Bianca for the first time and literally told me, "You know what? If you're lucky, maybe one day you'll grow up and you can look like that and be a real transsexual like that." I wanted to fucking strangle him. And it made me hate her. And it made me hate her for no good reason. So when she moved to New Orleans, her and I actually hit it off, y'all. And, she didn't look the same as she did in Houston. And she was trying to start over, she was trying to start her life over, and I understand that. So me and her became close. She went to work at the French Casino where I was working. And Bianca and I started to hang out a lot, and we were starting to get really close. And so we were working together at the bar, and it was kind of funny. She would go up on stage, y'all, and she would ballet dance to Valley of the Dolls. Yeah, the old song, the theme song from the movie Valley of the Dolls, that's what she would get on stage, and she would ballet dance to it and twirl. I used to think it was hilarious, but beautiful. Beautiful. She could actually ballet dance. She was trained, and it was beautiful. So, yeah. We're working there, and, we would go hang out afterwards at the roundup, and that's where I'd see Angel, and I would see Terry there, and Puerto Rican Tracy came back, y'all. Yeah, Tracy came back to town. She was over California without us being there with her, and so she came back to town, too. And it felt like the gang was all back together, Bobby Joe was there. We were all there, and we were all hanging out, and life in the roundup was like one big family. If I'm being really, really honest with y'all, it was. Yeah, me and Terry had our fight. We always had fights. Not a big fucking deal. Did I go to jail over it? Yes, I did. Was it over? No. I still had a court case to battle, and my court date was set for 5 days before Christmas. So, around Halloween, okay, this was around Halloween, before the Christmas that I had to go to court. And I'm hanging out in the roundup one night, and I'm hanging out with Bianca, and we're getting kind of toasted, and Terry hadn't gotten off work yet. So, y'all, when Terry showed up and got off work, she showed up in the bar. And she saw me and Bianca sitting there, and we were toasting. We were like, hey, girl, all of that. And Terry came up, and, girl, she was bitter. Like, she was really jealous, y'all. She was very jealous of me and Bianca becoming close. And so she got a little shady with Bianca. And she looked at her, and she said, girl, you're just riddled with plastic. All those boobs and all of that is just plastic. Bianca turned around to the gentleman sitting at the bar behind us, lifted up her shirt with her breast out, and said, darling, do you like all of this plastic? And if y'all want to know what happened next, y'all know the routine. Be here tomorrow, and I will too. I love you all. I love you all for watching, and I love you for the comments. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.